Howdy-o, Copy Gang. We're still a little sick, but we've had this video on the butter for a little while, so we're just going to go ahead and make it. Today, we're going to be talking about my current favorite deck in Elestrals, which is Water Earth. It is based around Tech-Sproutyr and teching out whichever sword that you need at that time. I call it the Vorpal Blade deck. It's really flexible. It has a lot of interaction. It goes easy on the card draw so that you can focus more on board presence. And overall, I think it's a really fun way to play. You always feel like you have a chance until you out of spirits. So without further ado, here we go. Okay, so first we're going to be talking about the marquee card of this deck, Tech-Sproutyr. When you normal cast Tech-Sproutyr, you can search your deck for an artifact and add it to your hand. That means that the artifacts that you play are super important. It also means that you can consistently see the same artifact that you want to see without having to draw it every game. So you don't need 3 of the artifacts that you want to see because you're going to want to play Tech-Sproutyr to search them instead. Also, this means that you can play a healthy variety at lower numbers to still find them. Since we're playing these, let's look at the artifacts we're playing. I'm playing a water grass list, or a water earth list. So the main artifact I want to be searching out is Trident of Poseidon. Trident of Poseidon protects you from poison-tipped arrows and Shield of Achilles, which are 2 of the biggest meta cards. I think they still will be even after the nerfs. We have Necklace of Harmonia. If 2 power is not enough, then Trident and Scythe are not going to be enough. So sometimes you have to pull out the necklace to beat over something really big. Or if you're in parity or something, like if you're both in top decks and you have a Foamy out and they just have 1 guy, you can put Necklace on them and they're going to burn themselves for 2 every turn. You can also Tsunami every turn and Ultra the Stars, the big guy. So you have about 10 ways to slow them down to try to burn them with Necklace. The only issue with burning them with Necklace, though, is if you can't stall all of their monsters every turn, then they start hitting you for your spirits, which go down really fast. And 2 spirits is a lot for this. And then they can also just ascend over the spirit that you have attached to it. The other one is Scythe of Demeter. Scythe of Demeter is not as good as the other 2. Notably, it does give 3 defense, so it makes Tech-Sproutyr an 8 defense, which is really high to get over. The other thing that it does is it gives you spirits back. I don't play Demeter in this deck, though, so you're never going to get 2 spirits back. But if you're in a slow game, you're getting low on spirits, you think you can stick a guy for a couple turns, this could be the card that you need to play. So there's been at least 1 game that I did win just because I played this card, and no other card would have gotten me there. Next, you can see that we're pretty heavy on water. I think the deck could also work on wind, but I'm playing water because I think the stall tactics are also valuable, so that you can get to Tech-Sproutyr, you can get to Viserys. Sometimes you just want to see an Earthquake or a Shield. But the thing about me is I think Nog and Drops of Leaf are pretty bad cards. I think, why would you burn your life total drawing cards when you could just wait it out? And I know that sounds bad, but if you think about it, Nog replaces itself and draws another card. So you're really just netting 1 card for 2 spirits. But if you hit a Foamy, well, you're going to draw the card off Foamy, which is another cast, and then another card off Foamy. Foamy also allows you to play, I have 2 2-drops in here that you feel a lot more comfortable playing because of that. Zephrog, I'm not sure if you play Zephrog. I'm running just 1 Wind Spirit so I can play him. I feel like 2 Spirit Bop is pretty good. Javelantis and Veritaqua really take advantage of Tsunami. And it also makes your Altar the Stars, which is a card that you kind of don't want to play, but it kind of fits in the deck better. It makes you feel not as bad about playing this card. But Foamy overall is a great stall card and lets you see the card, like gives you time to find the answers that you need. without losing a ton of spirits. You'll still lose spirits, but you're not going to lose as many spirits as if you were just on an open board. Veritogwa is a crazy card with Tsunami. When they start playing their big 2-3 drops, which, sometimes somebody's going to pop that on you. Veritogwa and Tsunami is a great way to get rid of those. It's also a great way to just get rid of the big 1-drop beaters if you don't have an answer to it on hand. But the way that this deck is built, you should either have Veritogwa, Tsunami. If you have Sproutyr, you have a way to get over anything up to 7 or up to an 8. If you have Viserys, that's a 5, which could be up to 10. So you have a lot of power in this deck. Viserys is probably the biggest beater of the deck. This is the one that you really want to hit over their Elestrals with. This is one that you like to see every game if you can. And you usually do play it every game. You don't always get its effect. And honestly, usually if you get its effect, they'll probably just swing over it. But then they've played in an attack position Elestral that you can then attack over to nab a spirit or two. Aphoros. I'm going to be honest, Aphoros, this is not the best deck for it, but I do want some card draw for when you start getting behind, specifically. If you put these swords on something, and then they get over it, then you're kind of in hot water. And Aphoros is kind of there to help get you back out of hot water. The biggest problem with Aphoros in this deck is that we don't play a lot of things that we don't care about the spirits of. That is why Poseidon is in this deck. That's the main reason Poseidon's in this deck, honestly. And that's kind of an issue. But Aphoros getting 1 spirit from Poseidon a turn to draw 2 cards is fair. And Poseidon also gives you somewhere to pull Altar Stars from. But Aphoros is for when you get stuck behind and you need to catch back up. You really need to draw your Earthquakes or your Shields, stuff like that. Tsunami's a really good card. Tsunami's like a get ahead, stay ahead card. I really view Tsunami as a win more card, but you need a couple win more cards to really seal a game early. And I feel like this deck is really good early. Zephrog is a Pokeboy. A little bit of hand disruption too. Really good with Foamy. Earthquake is such a bomb. I think you play Earthquake differently in this deck than you normally would. I feel like you could just Earthquake willy-nilly in this deck. Unless they're on specifically like the fast descend cards like Nimbug and Stratomoth. If they pop into a Blazerus, into a Trifernal. If you see that they play a Blazerus, you probably shouldn't be Earthquaking like a Cinder or something. But it's really good against like Rhyceros in the electric matchup. I feel like you don't hold it as much in this deck as you do in other decks because you just want to drop their spirits fast. Trident, I think, is the best one. I think that's the best artifact in this deck. I think Bag of Winds is of a similar strength, but I'm not playing Wind in this deck. I'm only playing 1 Wind Spirit for Zephrog. If you want to play Wind, I think that would also be really smart, specifically for the electric matchup, because Boombat hurts. Yeah. Necklace, man, this card is... I love this card because it's a really risky play, either way. If you give it to your Elestral, you're going to be losing spirits every turn. If you give it to your opponent's Elestral, they're going to be losing spirit every turn, but they're going to get power. I think this is a phenomenal card design. It's one of my favorite cards to play. But this is one of the reasons that it's a casual deck, is the fact that a lot of your big power plays are going to be based around Necklace. Scythe, wish I could cut it, but, it's a playable card. Crack Kid's okay. He can stop some cards that have protection from destruction, but don't have protection from like general targeting. And he can like slow burn with Necklace. He can, he can get in there too. Like, if you play Crack Kid with a Shield of Achilles, lock down one of theirs, the card that they play next turn is going to get bounced back to their hand. It gives you a lot of time to search for stuff, too. Poseidon is for Ultra Stars and Afro, so wish I could cut it. Really, this would be, if you switch to Wind, man, I would love to play Aeolus instead of Poseidon, get some P-Gust instead of Aphoros or something. But I really like having all my water spirits, so I don't really have to stress late game about which spirits I'm discarding. Shield of Achilles, this is not the eroded version, but it's still playable after the nerf. Same thing with Arrow. But yeah, that's the deck. And let's talk about some of the sample hands that you can expect. So imagine you're playing against Fire, and they play Necruff and 2 face downs. The cool thing about this deck is that you can play Sproutyr. When you play Sproutyr, they have to commit their Arrow, or they have to commit their Medusa's Gaze, they can Pandora's Box. But if you see that they do not do those 3, then you can pull Trident of Poseidon, and you don't care if it's a shield at that point. And you don't care if it's an Altar of Stars at that point. I guess it could still be a Tsunami or something, but most of the cards that could be in their back row, you no longer care about if you get Trident of Poseidon. If it's specifically Necruff and it has higher power than Sproutyr, you could either play Sproutyr in defense and it'll match, or you could have the option of playing Necklace of Harmonia and just hitting over that Necruff in the first place. That's a really risky play. I don't think that would really pan out for you. I would play Sproutyr in defense, search the Trident, and then next turn follow up with something with a little more power. Follow up with a Veritaqua or a Viserys. Hey y'all, thank you for watching the video. Thank you for supporting Elestrals. Thank you for being part of this great community. Congratulations to the entire Elestrals team for a successful Kickstarter. And let's show the people that are starting to get a lot of negativity around the project, come on, it's fine. And I hope you have a great day. I hope you have safe travels if you're traveling. As we're going to the holiday season, I hope you get to see friends, family. If you don't have friends and family, reach out to the Elestrals community. Let us know that. Let us talk with you and support you through, your holidays. And even if you do and you have friends and family, pop in, say hi to the Elestrals community. Let's all be happy together as we head into this beautiful holiday season. And just overall, thank you again, and you have a great day.